There are moments in life when we feel the whole world is spinning too fast, while we ourselves are swept away like a fragile leaf, drifting in a rushing stream. That morning, the young man named Adrian stood silently by the window, watching the sun rise above the distant mountains. Inside him was a weight of worries he couldn't even name. Work piling up, decisions he wasn't sure were right or wrong, emotions stacking on top of each other, keeping him awake every night. He wondered, why can't I find peace? Even just a little. That question echoed inside his chest like a soft but unending vibration, making it hard to breathe. That same morning, while Adrian wandered along the dirt path leading into the forest behind his home, he saw the silhouette of an old man sitting beneath an ancient pine tree. It was the village's quiet philosopher, a man who could read the state of another's heart with a single glance. Adrian approached, hesitant, yet driven by a longing deep inside to understand himself and to learn how to reclaim the peace he had lost long ago. The philosopher opened his eyes and looked at Adrian with a gentle gaze, as if he had been waiting for him. "You have come because your heart is troubled, haven't you?" Adrian nodded softly. The philosopher smiled. "You believe peace comes from the outside, when everything around you becomes perfect. But the ancient ones, the wise of old, they understood that peace never comes from the outside. It grows only when you learn to master the world within yourself." Adrian frowned. "But how can I control myself when everything keeps coming at me so fast? Situations, people, emotions, all beyond my reach." The philosopher placed his hand on the trunk of the old tree, feeling its steady pulse. "What disturbs your peace is not the world. It is the way you react to the world." The words landed softly, yet carried enough weight to ripple through Adrian's chest like a leaf touching still water. The ancient Stoics, the philosopher continued, left behind a secret, something so simple that everyone thinks they already understand it, yet almost no one truly practices it. If you grasp this, you will step through the first doorway to inner peace. Adrian looked at him, eyes wide with curiosity. "And what is that secret?" The philosopher tilted his head slightly, his smile warm like the first morning sunlight. "Before I tell you, let me share a story." The philosopher slowly stood up, brushed the dust off his simple brown robe, and walked a few steps across the damp ground. "Long ago," he began, "in a faraway land, there was a man named Lysandros. He was known as someone talented and capable, able to solve problems others couldn't. Yet despite all his success, his heart never knew peace." Adrian followed, listening closely. "Every morning," the philosopher continued, "Lysandros woke in worry. Would someone sabotage his work today? What would people think of him? Would his plan succeed? His mind ran faster than his feet, wasting energy on things that had not yet happened." The philosopher paused and looked at Adrian. "Sound familiar?" Adrian forced a small smile. "Yes, that sounds like me." The philosopher did not criticize him. He simply continued with a calm, steady voice, letting every word sink into the earth and into Adrian's heart. One day, Lysandros met a wise elder and complained that life was too exhausting, that the world caused him endless anxiety, that people were unpredictable, that fortune was fickle. The wise elder looked at him and said a single sentence, "You are fighting battles that do not belong to you." Adrian frowned. "What does that mean?" The philosopher smiled gently, still walking along the forest trail. Lysandros asked the same question, and the elder replied, "There are things within your control, and there are things entirely beyond it. But you place your heart in the things that never belong to you. That is why your mind is unsettled. That is why you suffer." Light sifted through the branches above, scattering patterns along the path. "The secret of the Stoics lies here," the philosopher said. "They divided the world into two halves, what they could control and what they could not, and they devoted all their energy to the first half." The realization struck Adrian like a quiet sunrise. "But that sounds too simple, Master." "Simple," the philosopher nodded, "but not easy." He pointed toward the distant mountains. "Do you see those peaks? They do not command the wind, nor hold back the rain, nor order the clouds. Yet they remain firm because they understand their nature, to stand without resisting what lies beyond them. You lose peace," he continued, "because you try to change what cannot be changed. You search for peace in the wrong place." Adrian lowered his head, sadness brushing against him like a passing breeze. "Then how do I know what belongs to me and what does not?" The philosopher smiled warmly. "I will show you, and once you see that line clearly, peace will come closer than ever before." Forest. Sunlight streamed through the leaves above, falling in long golden strands across the ground like woven threads. He sat down on a flat stone and gestured for Adrian to sit across from him. "Now," the philosopher said, "do something simple. Tell me the things that worry you the most." Adrian hesitated, then slowly replied, "I worry about what others think of me. I worry that I will make mistakes. I worry the future won't turn out the way I hope. I worry I will fail. I worry people will leave me." The philosopher nodded thoughtfully, unsurprised. "Everything you just listed belongs to the other half of the world, the half you cannot control." Adrian was startled. "Not controllable? But these things matter to me." "They matter," the philosopher agreed, "but they do not belong to you." He picked up a small branch and drew a straight line on the ground. "Look here. This is the boundary. On the left are things you can adjust. Your thoughts, your actions, your choices, your attitude. On the right are things belonging to others, their feelings, their judgments, their behaviors, along with circumstances, luck, the weather, and the unfolding of time." Adrian looked at the line as though rediscovering a truth he had forgotten long ago. "The ancients found peace," the philosopher continued, "because they separated these clearly. People today, they throw everything together, carry it all inside, and then wonder why their hearts grow heavy." A gentle breeze rustled the leaves overhead. "Think about it," he said. "When you worry about what others think, are you not placing your heart into their hands? When you insist everything must happen your way, are you not trying to command the flow of the river? When you fear the future, are you not trying to grasp what has not yet come into existence?" Adrian remained silent. Each question struck exactly where he had avoided looking. The philosopher gazed into the distance, as though remembering something from a faraway time. The Stoics said, "No one can disturb your peace unless you hand them the key to your inner world." Adrian inhaled deeply, feeling a faint lightness in his chest. So, peace isn't about eliminating worry, but placing it in the right place. Exactly. He smiled. Peace is not the absence of storms. It is knowing what belongs to the sky and what belongs to your oar. Adrian felt his heart soften. The words seemed abstract, yet somehow illuminated something very real inside him. "But, Master," Adrian asked quietly, "if I know what belongs to me, what do I do next?" The philosopher looked at him, his eyes as calm as a still lake. "Once you know the boundary, the next step is to live faithfully with the half that belongs to you." He placed a hand over his chest. "And I will show you how." Adrian sat quietly, feeling his heart slowly opening, like a lake settling after the wind ceases. The philosopher nodded gently, then spoke with a warm, resonant voice, like the soft crackling of firewood on a winter night. "Now I will tell you the second story," he said. "The story of someone who learned how to live rightly with their half of the world." Adrian listened attentively. "There was a young woman named Maya," he began. "She was diligent, sensitive, but easily hurt by the words of others. If someone praised her, she felt joyful the entire day. If someone criticized her, she would be sad for a whole week. Her heart did not stand on her own 2 feet. It stood on the feet of the world." Adrian nodded softly. "I see myself in her." The philosopher smiled. "Most people do, Adrian, because they believe their worth rests in the eyes of others." He picked up a yellow leaf and placed it on his palm. Maya once asked a wise elder, "How do I stop being hurt by what others say?" The elder answered, "Devote your life to what you can control. Your own character, not the opinions of the world." The philosopher released the leaf, letting the breeze carry it away. When you know what belongs to you, you will also know what you no longer need to carry. Adrian thought for a long moment, then asked, "So living with my half of the world means focusing only on my actions, right?" "Not just your actions," the philosopher replied, "but also your thoughts, your attitude, your choices, your kindness, your steadiness, the things you cultivate each day. These form your true nature." The philosopher stood and walked to a small stream ahead. Water cannot decide the shape of stone, but stone can shape itself, even as water flows around it. Adrian followed, watching the clear stream winding around the rocks. "I understand," he whispered. "If I do the right thing, with the right attitude, for the right reasons, then the outcome is no longer a burden I have to carry." The philosopher smiled with approval. "That is the second part of the Stoic secret. Pour your whole strength into what you can do, your own actions, and release the obsession with results." Adrian felt a large weight dissolving inside his chest, the way morning mist fades when the sun rises. "But Master," he asked, "if I give my best effort and the result is still bad, does that mean I failed?" The philosopher studied him for a moment, then gently placed a hand on his shoulder. "Failure does not lie in the outcome, Adrian. Failure is when you let the half of the world that does not belong to you control your heart." Wind shimmered through the leaves above, sounding like nature itself agreeing. "Peace comes," the philosopher said, "when you refuse to let results define you, instead let your actions define you. That is inner strength." Adrian closed his eyes and breathed deeply. "I want to live that way." The philosopher nodded. "Then you are ready for the most important part." The philosopher led Adrian deeper into the forest. where ancient trees stood like silent witnesses of time. The air grew cooler, quieter, and Adrian felt that each step was bringing him closer to something important, something he could not yet name. The philosopher stopped beneath a wide canopy of leaves and said, "Now you understand the first two parts of the Stoic Secret, recognizing what you cannot control and living fully with what you can. But there is still the most important part, the part that determines whether you will truly touch inner peace." Adrian felt a flutter of anticipation. "And that part, what is it, Master?" The philosopher looked up at the trembling leaves. "It is the art of acceptance." Adrian blinked. "Acceptance? Does that mean giving up?" The philosopher shook his head. "No, acceptance is not surrender. Acceptance is seeing reality as it is, not as you wish it to be." He bent down and picked up a small stone. "If you throw this stone into the stream, the water will ripple. If you press your hand onto this rock, it will feel cold and hard. Everything has a nature, and peace comes only when you stop being angry at the nature of things." And he dropped the stone. People suffer because they fight against what has already happened. They want the past to change. They want others to become someone different. They want life to always bend according to their desires. Adrian sighed, realizing he too belonged to those people. The philosopher looked directly into his eyes. "Adrian, you cannot command the wind, but you can command your sail. You cannot change the past, but you can learn from it. You cannot force others to love you or treat you well, but you can choose how you respond in a way that does not wound your own heart." A thin layer of mist drifted through the deeper forest, like a reminder of impermanence. "Acceptance," the philosopher continued, "does not weaken you. It frees you from wasting your strength fighting the impossible so you can walk the path that remains." Adrian asked softly, "But how do I know if I have truly accepted, or if I am just pretending?" The philosopher smiled. "When you accept, your heart feels lighter. When you pretend, your heart feels heavy. You cannot fake peace. You can only feel it." He walked toward a fallen tree struck down long ago by lightning. "See this tree? It was once strong, but it broke. It cannot stand again. It accepted that truth, and in doing so, it became soil that nourishes new life. That is not defeat. It is another form of victory. Victory through harmony with the nature of life." Adrian looked at the fallen trunk and felt warmth spreading in his chest. "I understand. Acceptance allows my heart to stop resisting what cannot be changed." "Exactly." The philosopher placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "And when you learn to accept, you touch the deepest layer of peace, where the world remains noisy, but your heart stays still." Adrian felt a door inside him quietly open. "You are ready now," the philosopher whispered, "for the final part, where the Stoic secret becomes yours." The two of them reached an open clearing where the last light of day stretched across the ground like a warm, golden cloth. The philosopher stopped and turned toward Adrian. In his eyes was a depth of peace Adrian had never seen in anyone before, a stillness that could not be described with words. "Adrian," he said slowly, "now I will give you the final part of the Stoic secret. The part that binds all three pieces together." Adrian listened, heart steady and open. "Peace does not come only from knowing what you cannot control. It does not come only from doing what belongs to you. It does not come only from acceptance. Peace blooms when you unite all three into a way of life. Adrian tilted his head slightly, trying to understand. The philosopher raised his hand. Imagine this. The first finger is recognizing what lies outside your control. The second finger is acting with integrity in what you can control. The third finger is accepting what unfolds beyond your influence. He gently closed the three fingers together. When they stand apart, they are weak. When they come together, they form strength. Stoicism is not theory. It is a way of living. He stepped closer to Adrian. When you wake each morning, remind yourself, I will do what belongs to me, and what does not belong to me, I let the wind carry away. When others speak ill of you, I am responsible for my character, not their opinions. When you fail, I did my part. The rest was never mine. When life shifts unexpectedly, I accept, and I walk forward with lighter feet. Adrian felt clarity spreading through his chest like a quiet sunrise. The philosopher gently tapped Adrian's chest. Peace is not a destination. It is a skill, a habit, a daily practice. It is something you must cultivate by remembering these three truths and living them. The evening wind swept past, soft as a blessing. And here, the philosopher continued, is the final thing you must understand. No one can give you peace. No circumstance can hand it to you. Peace comes only when you become strong enough inside that no one can take it away. Adrian stood still, and for the first time in years felt something unusual. Not joy, not excitement, but a gentle stillness. A stillness like a calm lake. A stillness he no longer needed to search for in the world outside. The philosopher turned away, leaving Adrian standing in the golden sunset. You know the ancient secret now, he said. The rest is your journey. Adrian bowed deeply. Thank you, Master. I will live according to what you taught me. The philosopher smiled, eyes filled with quiet confidence. Then begin today, and if you find peace, share it with someone else. Adrian watched his teacher's silhouette fade, then whispered to himself, Peace begins within.